Okay, so my name is Annick Vanderbilke, and I'm working for the Flanders Fields Museum. The main part of my job is preparing temporary exhibitions. We have a research center which is open every day, and this is also one of my major jobs, is to receive people in the research center, but also when they come in with personal stories, I am the one who deals with the personal stories. If we talk about Ypres, it's very easy to say that by the first gas attack, the 22nd of April 1915, every civilian had to leave Ypres. There was not one civilian in the town anymore. In general, in Belgium, there were about 600,000 refugees who stayed at one point or another in a foreign country during the war. Gradually, during the First World War, whole Ypres got destroyed. It was a constant bombarding from both sides. In fact, it was like as a pancake, so very few buildings were remaining. I cannot say that in the first months after the war, the former inhabitants of Ypres were very fun to come back. Those who came back really wanted to rebuild their town as it was before. Churchill had big plans for Ypres. He wanted Ypres to stay into ruins as a kind of big memorial in itself. The discussions went on, but eventually they won, and gradually they started to rebuilding the town. It was only in the late 60s that the original population of Ypres, which was like 17,000 before the war, got back to 17,000. The inhabitants of Ypres in generally could come back and apply for a very temporary dwelling. In the case of Denise's family, they lived there like for more than a year because Denise had very good memories of that little house. She kind of liked it because she said it was cute, it was nice, it was comfortable, and she was well at ease there. Because of that decision of the British to leave their deads on the sacred ground, as they call it, where their boys fell, that was already imposing a major legacy on this area. And so all these cemeteries is one of the most poignant testimonies of this war. And then you've got this daily ceremony, which is not the only one in the world, but still so very unique, which is the last post, which is held every day at 8 o'clock sharp since 1928. Being an inhabitant of Ypres, living very close to this Manning Gate, I've seen how the number of people is growing, the number of visitors is growing. Because of the town being on the battlefield, it's a different kind of commemoration, a different kind of memory. It's what it makes Ypres so unique in this commemoration. She really was an icon, Denise. She lived so close to the Manning Gate, and being there almost every night. A lot of people connected with her, and she knew many of the tourists, of the visitors of the Manning Gate. So she was a very loved person. Ypres has become the city of peace, in fact, by a very poignant happening. That was the Pope coming to Ypres in 1985, and he prayed for peace under the Manning Gate. And since then, the idea grew that Ypres had to be sort of center of peace. And then quite a number of initiatives grew, not in the least the museum. When you come out of the museum, I think the first idea that should come across your mind is this should never happen again. Because of the commemorations coming up, there's so many tourists in Ypres, there's so many people in Ypres, there's so much aware of what's happening that I think we have now a generation who will be stronger aware of the things that were happening here. I know that there are many commemorations coming up. Most important what will be happening is this launching of this list of names, commemorating not only the known soldiers but also the unknown soldiers and also the civilians.